Hey, welcome back to the channel, peeps. And today we are going to talk about the absolute basics for setting up our motor parameters on our 3 degree of freedom motion simulator platform. We need to be able to set up our motor levers once we've got them installed onto our motor shafts on our ZD1735s. We need to be able to set their positions once they're on our frame. And the only way really you can do this without pulling your hair out is to actually have a 12 volt DC battery that we can hook up to the motor loom and control our motor levers to get them set up to run through their range of access. Basically, you will really struggle to move those motor shafts on the ZD1735s without powering them. Without a doubt, you need to get yourself a little 12 volt battery like this. This is a little rechargeable 12 volt DC battery that I purchased from the electronics store here in Australia called J-Car. These are readily available. It's about the size of a motorbike battery. It's rechargeable. I use this all the time for manually moving my motors when I need to tweak them. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So you need to get one of these and you'll need to set up some wiring to connect from your battery to your motors, so then we can set up our positions before we can start really tweaking our SMC3 utilities. So let's talk about how we do that now. I just simply take my motor wiring loom. Okay, the motor wires that I run, which are a dual core cable here. One's POS, one's nag. They just run into the nag and the POS. So they're running off. If you're buying the ZD 1735 motor, like the doctor has here, you run the white wire and the black wire. The black wire on the loom is your ground. The white wire is the fast speed for the wiper. So the positive goes to the white wire, the negative goes to the black wire. So that's just some wiring basics. Now, you'll need to unhook this, obviously, from your IBT2s when you're going to control these motors with your battery. I've just made up some, I don't know what it would be. It'd be 16 gauge wire here. It doesn't even matter which way you wire this at the start, because you can just swap the polarity on the motor loom. Okay, so on the motor loom, I use a female spade connector, and I just slot it into those. I slot these into those two spades in the loom. The black wire, the white wire. On the other end, I'm using female spades once again, and I've got male spades inside them that I've basically taken the sleeves off. So I can just sit these on the terminals and then move the motor. Okay, it doesn't matter which way I do it, because the motors are reversed. You can reverse the polarity of the motors. So that's basically how you set up your battery to control your motors. So what I'm doing here with the battery, this is initially how you would move your levers into position. Okay, and you want to start with both of your motor levers in at the 90 degree angle, okay, before we start fiddling with our SMC3 utility software and its parameters and power and power settings, voltage settings in there. We run our motor levers at 90 degrees, right? So this is our pitch. So our pitch for when we're driving or when we're flying, it will now either be 45 degrees down or 45 degrees up. And that's quite a lot of movement on the frame. You don't need any more than that to really feel like you are in a car. That's our top position. Now keep in mind that this is only one side moving. Now in game, you're going to get even more pitch than this, because in game, the opposite lever, it's going down while this is going up. Okay? So you've got more than enough range of motion to really feel what's going on your motion sim. Rightio, so that's the basics of how you would set up your motors to initially get them into the positions that they need to be in before you start setting up your SMC3. You need them to basically be where they are there. They need to be at that 90. So then you've got the range of motion 45 degrees off 90 up and 45 degrees off 90 down. Now guys, I wanted to talk about our max, min, both motor and clip limits in the SMC3 utilities. But this is an important step in your setup of SMC3 utilities to ensure the safety of different aspects of our rig. What we want to do is we want to find the max limitations of our geometry on our rig and then set those things up to be safe as a software barrier, if you like, in SMC3 utilities. Now this is a little bit fiddly because it requires you to independently test each motor. So once again, as recommended, you'll need a little battery. Work with the traction loss motor here. And you can see I already have this at its absolute limitation to the right hand side. Okay, so my traction loss is all the way to the right here now. So what I need to do, we've got our pot in position here. When we turn SMC3 utilities on, when we boot it up, this will be placed at a certain position in SMC3. We can then use this as a guide to set our clip limits and our motor limits to shut off so that we don't exceed this. For example, with this rear motor on our setup, this can technically go in a 360 degree motion. Okay, if it was allowed to do that, it would come right around and it would take out the bracket. Okay, so we need to make sure that if something went pear-shaped for some reason, this would be shut down in SMC3 before it could reach those limitations and before it could damage the rig itself. So let's have a look now that I've got this in this position. Let's have a look at SMC3 and we can have a look from there how we can set up our max and minimum clip limits. As I said, this will have to be done for all three motors in all two positions. We've got two positions basically on each motor for max geometry, right, of where our motor levers are going to travel. So we need to do this for both arcs.
I've got SMC3 utilities open and we can see here our feedback line or our potentiometer line. This is where it resides on motor 3. As you can see, motor 2 and motor 1, we haven't touched them. Motor 3, where I've got the geometry of the rig and the traction loss all the way to the right, and this is as far as we ever want our rig to move in that direction. This is where our potentiometer or our feedback line is telling us is our maximum geometry. Okay, so what we can do now is we can adjust our clip limit and our max limit or our motor shut-off limit now to that line. So what that means is that the clip limit or the orange line, so our clip limit here, that will tell our software to place our motors in our reverse, okay, when this limit here is reached. So if we now move that clip limit, the orange line, to the green or maybe just above the green line, I'll just step that up by 10, make this a bit quicker. Okay, you can see we're moving that orange line now towards our potentiometer, which is telling us where our maximum limits are for the geometry on the traction loss to the right hand side. So I'm going to place that just a little bit. Actually, I'll go back to 1 because I want to fine tune this. Just before our actual max limit, okay, is where I would place that orange line. That's going to tell SMC3 that it needs to put the motors in reverse. Now, if we had like a lot of momentum in the rig for some reason, we had high power settings, we lost control of our car in game, and the momentum of the rig was going to push us over that line before SMC3 and the software could react, what we can do is we can set up our max limits now, which actually physically turn the motor off in the software. So now we should bring that red line to exactly on our green line. That's it. So our max limits is the actual hard shut off of our motors. Now technically, if we have our rig balanced, you can see the top max and clip limits are doing the same. Okay, so technically we should just be able to do this and then we don't need to worry about our maximum geometry the other side. It won't be exceeded. Now, I'm going to leave mine there now because I know on my setup and what I've set up with my battery, my motor lever can actually go a little bit further. So I'm going to leave that there, okay? And then that is going to be my safety zone for my rear traction loss motor. Now, I'm not going to go through every single motor with this, guys. Obviously, that'd be quite time consuming, but this is what you would do for every motor. Okay, your front motors and your rear motors. You need to determine how far they will lift and how far they will drop.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If this video has been helpful for you, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take it easy out there.